Here we go. All right. And welcome to another live stream. We hope everyone enjoyed our first episode of Deadlands, where we just kind of jumped into the system, got our little introductory started. Here is the second session where Brent is going to obviously kill us with big bads in the desert. Um, I don't know. We'll see. Maybe it won't be big bads in the desert. Maybe it'll be big bads in the saloon or big bads in the hotel. It'll be
Centipedes that bite you and don't actually do damage, but paralyze you so you can't
just
ever move.
paralytic centipedes. Excellent. However he chooses to end our adventuring days, we're happy that you could join us again. If you guys are catching this as a recording, we do live stream on Mondays. So if you want to pop in, we'd like to chat with our people, even though we're playing. We're pretty informal, pretty just have a fun night kind of thing. And of course, I'm going to turn it over to Brent. So Brent, Deadlands number 2. Cool.
Yeah, if you're watching this as a recording, I think the link to the first recording will be in the show notes. And now that I've said it, Mike has to do it. So there we go. So yeah, we'll do a quick recap on what we did, kind of where we ended last time, and then we will go ahead and move forward. So our cowboys, our huckster and our bounty hunter, are currently locked up in the Lights Way Church with Father Baron and what remains of his flock from the town of Rifton's arrest. They have barricaded the doors in the church as the creatures in the town don't seem to be able to approach, get within a few feet of the church. For whatever reason, the Cowboys have not figured that out yet. Or it's a good word. I guess cowboy is what I'll stick with.
Cowboy.
What's a
Or
good
just cowboy.
what? I guess it would be. Well, I was trying to think of like Rough Rider. I don't know.
Well, we could use we could be roamers.
Could
be.
That's a dumb game and a dumb
Bounty
name.
hunters?
Roamers. Just kidding. That's what I'm playing in another game that we're playing as a roamer. So you are currently in the church. Night has fallen. You guys have spent a few hours, I believe. Chester, which is Mike's character, spent a couple hours up in the bell tower, kind of watching the comings and goings of the creatures in the town, what they're doing, as they kind of run around roughshod over the town. And I believe Jewel helped barricade some of the doors and just kind of set it up to make sure everyone was a little bit safer the night through, because it's at one point during the night, like an hour or two after dark, were some vampires that came up as close to the church as they can, and were trying to call to some of the individuals inside the church to come out and join them. I believe that is currently where we're sitting, about 2.5 hours into the night. And I will turn it back over to you, gentlemen, and what you choose to do as you're in the night-bound church.
So since it's summer, sunrise is really early, like 4:30, right?
About 5. It'll be about 5.
Okay.
Okay.
I think we should talk to the priest. Or if you don't want to, I will. And just trying to see about.
I'm not much of a talker, but yeah, if you want me to talk to him, I can talk to him. You go first, though, since I think the huckster is naturally a more charismatic.
I have a feeling your conversation style is like Black Dynamite, where you're just going to stare at him until he says things.
It's one approach. It tends to work a lot. People, like to fill the space. They like to fill the silence.
Only if they have things they have to say.
I don't know. Priests seem like the kinds that fill the silence.
I'm gonna talk to the priest.
Just having a staring contest with the priest for the next 8 hours. Okay. The Father Baron, as he introduced himself when you guys came in, is kind of, he has a Bible open, and he's moving around to individual people, reading little prayers to them, as some of them kind of make places for them to sleep with their kids, or other family members that manage to escape the town to the church. But currently, that's what he's doing, is kind of just wandering around tending to his flock, is what he would call it.
All right. Father, do you have a few moments to talk to me?
Uh,
Or would you like to wait until after you've made your rounds?
he says, "No, I think everybody's pretty close to bedding down for the night. Yeah, we can have a conversation. Why don't we go someplace a little more private? I don't want to bother anyone who's starting to go off."
Sure. I
Um,
I I ask him to lead the way since
yeah, and
it's
he leads you off to
his
a
house.
little. He has a little. Yeah, he has a little apartment behind um, the pulpit and stuff. So that's where he takes you, so you can have a conversation.
So so do these creatures call out to their remnants of their family and friends every night, or is this a new development?
This is the first night that we've had any conversation with any of the creatures outside the church. Usually, they just kind of uh, wander the perimeter like animals, waiting for one of us to step outside. This is the first time any of them showed any sign of trying to make a connection with people here.
That's odd. Uh,
It's
do you
like
know
something. It's
why
like
they don't try to break into the church? They seem it from up top. It looks like they have no desire to. Or
um no, they do. They will come to the town, but it's been a few days, so they know that if they get too close, they don't seem to be able to get too close to the church. I personally believe it's the light of God keeping them at bay. They can't come on the hallowed ground that is this church. I don't is my belief.
okay, I would tend to believe you. I just wondered why they could come onto the grounds at all, because I would have thought it would all be consecrated, not just the building.
Well, it's only consecrated out so far.
Okay.
The graveyard is that way, and that's consecrated. The ground is hollowed there, but mostly we've hollowed the building and
Okay.
the ground we sit on here.
No, I appreciate it. I hope you're able to get some sleep, but we need to try to keep an eye that nobody succumbs to the and tries to go outside to meet up with their loved ones, because I don't think that's going to be a friendly end for them.
Yeah, as you directed, we did have people stuff their ears with cloth, so most of them won't be able to hear. So, I'm deeply hoping that uh, it'll keep out. And some of the other pious folks are going to sing hymns and songs to hopefully drown out any noise from outside.
Oh,
So,
that's a good idea. All right.
hopefully they won't be able to hear whatever
Well,
wickedness is outside of the church.
well, Chester and I are going to do our part to help defend you and the flock, if that's what it comes to. But we're hoping to get through the night without any sort of scuffle. But if it comes to us, we'll do what we think is necessary.
We should all try and get some rest to try and make sure that we're strong for tomorrow. Um,
Okay, Chester and I will take shifts. So
Mhm. So,
thank you, Father.
so
Thank you, my son.
I asked Jubal after this is all done. I'm like, you think if we were to tell these talking creatures, we're going to come out and meet our loved ones or whatever, give that story, they'd gather in a big group for us at the bottom?
I don't know. It might just be the ones calling out for those, specific people, and they probably know their family's voices. I don't know how much whatever's happened changes them.
Hmm.
I like we could try, but I don't know if we could try without endangering the people in here or upsetting some of them.
Well, if we got them in a close enough group, I got 2 sticks of dynamite that at least says we could injure some of them. Rainy day fun, one could say.
Okay. Well, that's got to be our
Rainy and day.
fall back plan, I guess.
That's your
Fall
pistol.
back.
That should be your pistols, rainy and day.
Sure.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Chester, you can name your guns whatever you want. I'm sure you'd have.
Naming your dynamite is temporary.
So could we, when we were up in the bell tower, could we see over to the saloon at all? I know.
Oh yeah, you can see the saloon. It's pretty tall. You can see over to the saloon. Yeah, you can see the front of the saloon.
And were the rooms, so like if the church is here and the saloon is to the south of us, were the rooms facing in a direction we could see them? Like, could we see into the room and see like potentially where?
No, because you're looking at the front of the saloon from where you are.
Okay.
Okay,
And the
and
rooms are on
even
the sides and the back. They're like in a U shape around the second level and the third level.
and what
You
about
you
the?
could see into the bar, like you could kind of see into the bar because it's still lit up.
Okay, what about the carriage? Did we notice anything unusual about the carriage?
Other than we couldn't get into it,
Well, we
right?
couldn't get into it, but I was just curious if, like, if we could look at the saloon, could we see anything about the carriage that was?
It's still there. When you were up, so how long do you stay in the bell tower?
Um, I mean, at this point, that seems like the most secure place to stay, other than the fact that, I mean, I don't. I mean, we don't know first of all if the creatures can scale the building and then just come on in, but they don't seem to have been able to do that this far. So
They don't seem to be able to touch the church at all. No.
Um, so I mean, I just kind of that would be the easiest way to monitor their goings on, unless there's an underground like root cellar into the church, which I mean, I guess we should clarify that with the father beforehand.
Yeah.
So
So you can ask.
sacrificial chamber.
You can ask when he's awake because after he talked to Jewel, he did go to sleep. And then I'm assuming Jewel's sleeping first, and then you're gonna pick up halfway through the night, or then you're gonna switch halfway through the night. So
That would be
right.
kind of the preferable way, I
Okay.
think.
So what you do see is because are you just watching the saloon, or you're watching kind of around town?
Well, I think my main focus, because the interesting part about this is with this town, because of the electric lights, where there's like a lot more visibility in certain areas than I would have expected. So my main focus is gonna be the saloon to see if there's anything to be had about Billy. Um, Second thing is gonna be, just to kind of like observe what the creatures are doing, just because it seems strange that some creatures are lucid and able to talk, and other creatures seem feral, and eating cats and other
Go
livestock.
ahead and roll your notice skill, which will be 2d6. It'll be your notice, which is a d6, and then your wild dice, which is a d6.
Okay.
And let me know what you get.
Um,
And I'll open Discord to make sure that you're not cheating.
wow, that's a lot of sixes so far. Apparently,
Did you get 2 6s?
I got 2 6s. So one of the do they both explode, or does just one explode in
They
this
both
scenario?
they both explode.
So and then a
So you
5
got
and a 3.
you got an 11 and a 9. So your 11 is successful, and it's got a couple degrees of success. Let's see, let's say it was a 5, so 1 degree of success. So what you do notice is about an hour after nightfall. What you do notice is the back of the wagon,
Mhm.
Billy's wagon, does open, and you see kind of a tall figure um kind of slide out of the back of the wagon and go into the saloon.
Mm.
Once it goes in the saloon, the lights go out in the saloon.
The lights go out in the saloon?
Mhm.
Mm. Now, with a common sense of the world and everything like that, would our characters be knowledgeable to think that there's some kind like Billy could be some kind of thrall or something like this? Um,
I
'Cause, like,
mean, if you think that, then your character can think that. That's fine. There's weird things out
okay.
here. It's hard to say.
Yeah.
If you don't think your character would think that, then
I'm just a naturally suspicious person, but like a person just going and staying in a room and being like, "I'm all cool here. The town is empty. I better have a drink." And then a weird lanky figure creeping out of his carriage and then going for a nightcap themselves. Something's definitely weird with that guy. Um, after I kind of like monitor everything and kind of see, if there's any.
yeah. So the night goes pretty much like that. That's the strangest thing that you notice. You do notice at one point during the night, you do hear the screams of Billy's horse as a couple of the more feral types take the horse down. It doesn't take, it's a couple hours in, so they waited for a while, but eventually it seems like their hunger gets the best of them and they take the horse down.
Any reaction from inside
Nope,
the
nothing
saloon
happens
to
on
that?
the inside. You just hear the screaming of the horse, and then you hear other horse noises, as you know. Buck and what was your Jubal's horse name again? New
Blackie.
horse,
We have him as
Blackie. New horse number 5.
Yes.
And you hear Rosie baying off in the distance. But that's all you really hear. Otherwise it's deathly quiet. And then yeah, the horse that takes the carriage goes silent after a while.
Okay. Well, then I use the opportunity to save my ammunition for something a little bit more immediate, and I'll report out to Jeff to see what his thoughts on the situation are about Billy's um, Billy's passenger. Seems a little odd.
Data dump.
Data dump. Yeah.
What he just said.
Exactly. The things we talked about, he tells you those things.
Jubal's thinking, he's like, Billy didn't come across as your average kind of snake oil salesman. He came across more like an asshole.
Sure.
I'm not saying snake oil salesmen aren't assholes, but you say that thing was locked up tight because you tried to get into it. So whatever was in there had the ability to unlock it from the inside.
He just kind of looked. You didn't say you rattled anything or anything like that.
No,
he just tried to look.
Yeah, it was just I couldn't get. There was no place to look inside to see his tinctures or serums or anything like that.
Whether Billy's a servant for that thing or its partner or just a damn rube that's driving it around, I don't know.
The worst of evil.
I'm beginning to think Billy may not be an innocent in all of this and may not be a bystander. And I think the son of a bitch may have been in town a little longer than he told us.
It's possible. Because he didn't seem too keen on leaving either, which was kind of an interesting reaction. But I mean, maybe we're just not the kind of fellas that
if we get to tomorrow, maybe we'll ask some of the people in the church if they remember when the wagon came into town.
If we get to tomorrow, the happiest of things to say.
Well, we're cowboys living in the Wild West. I mean, I don't know. Dysentery, wolves, earthquakes,
sudden onset dysentery. It's a horrible thing.
Exactly. We just might poo ourselves to death here in the next 3 hours.
That's kind of it, regardless of the circumstances for me.
Yeah, there isn't even any whiskey to calm the journey.
Yeah,
because we're in church.
So, it's my new favorite thing. Sudden onset dysentery. That's going to happen to more characters in the future.
Well, I go. Since it doesn't seem as though we're going to go take any immediate action because it's far safer to go inside stay inside the church for at least the time being. I'm going to go find a corner, take a few puffs of a cigar just to kind of calm myself and think about boats, how life could have been before putting on my Stetson, kind of tipping it down and going to sleep.
All right, I'll go up into the bell tower and see what I can see as I try and observe around the whole thing.
You see the same thing that he did. The other than the creatures moving through the town, and occasionally you hear them you occasionally do see them take a night creature like a fox or like a coyote. If you look far enough out, you'll see sometimes they grab those, but for the most part, it's just them moving around town. Most of them look like they're looking, like they're hunting, they're searching for things. You do see that the back of the wagon is open. You confirm that with your own eyes. And then when it gets closer to daybreak, it's still dark, so it's still hard to see, but as it gets closer to the daybreak, you do see a figure, tall, lanky, long-coated figure, slide back into Billy's wagon and seal it back up.
Okay. Did I notice any other? So the lights in the bar went out. Did the lights go out anywhere else
Nope, just the bar.
in town? And were there any like doors that I saw open, or like the back doors of establishments, or anything that I could see from where I was at that indicated any other sort of activity?
At one point during the night, when you kind of started your watch, you do see that some of the creatures were like really trying to get into the sheriff's office, like battering the door, scratching at the door. They're trying to get into the sheriff's office, but that's like the most activity that you saw.
Okay, I'm going to note that because I'm going to talk to Chester about that. That seems a little odd. All right.
Other than that, the night goes after you rested and got up. The night goes, I mean, not peacefully, because occasionally you do hear like rabbits screaming. You
That's
can kind of,
disturbing.
in the light, you can kind of see Billy's horse, like just the remains of whatever was left in the blood left in its body, leaking out onto the dirt. But other than that, that's the night. Oh, periodically you do. The other thing you do hear is periodically you do hear them come back and try and talk. It sounds like the same voices from what you understand, trying to talk to people within the church. But again, there's no real action other than you hearing them, and they do stay far enough out of the light you can't get a clear like picture of who they are.
And so, what do they do when the sun starts coming up?
They all you basically watch them all go back into different buildings. You see several. Well, you wouldn't be able to see the front of the hospital, the hospitality hotel, but you do see several move towards the hospitality hotel. You see a couple move towards houses. Basically, they all take refuge somewhere as the sun comes up.
Okay. Okay. I'm gonna go down and kick Chester's heel to wake him up, and if he's not already up, and fill him in as to what I saw.
Well, as an old man, I only need about 4 hours of sleep a night before my old man problems start kicking in. Gotta go pee 10 times. I don't know. There's a lot of problems. Okay.
Found a corner.
Um,
There's a spittoon in the church
I
that they
hope you
let you
found a
use.
thunder mug or something you could use.
They let you use as a chamber pot, because you probably don't want to go outside and do that.
Probably not. There's a part of my brain that just lizard brain is like, must go outside on the trail. No, but after we wake, I think after it's daytime, we can go in, unbar the church, and I think we go and do some investigating. What do you think?
Yeah, I think we need to eat a little bit and share what we have with the folks, but we also
Yeah.
got to find some time during the day to get a little more rest.
So they do make a little fire in the like kind of the center of the church. It's a little cook fire. And they do have some breakfast. It's the minimum of their resources, but they do offer you some as they kind of see you as the most capable people to help them out.
Okay. As we're eating, I'm looking at Chester. I'm like, I feel like we should try to check out the wagon, maybe the bar, but maybe the sheriff's office. I don't understand why they were trying to get into the sheriff's office,
Mm.
because that was the only place I saw him battering at the door. Did you see
Well,
anything like that?
I think we gotta take the one variable that we know is going to be problematic, and that's that Billy kid guy thing. Is it, unlike the rest of them, seems like he's able to walk around just fine during the day, and I'd hate to have him show up in a place we don't expect him.
Well, yeah, if he's still alive, yeah, we got to assume that he's, based on what these people have told us.
Yeah.
Um,
So
I as we were eating, I was talking to people and asked them if they remembered when the wagon came into town.
They
Nobody.
don't.
Okay.
And they don't really go up in the bell tower, so they wouldn't have seen it come in, but they don't know when
So
it definitely wasn't there before they took up refuge in the
okay. So what? Okay. I thought maybe. Okay.
Yeah,
In
no,
my-
they say they did. They
I
did.
thought maybe it was the cause of the outbreak, not.
No. No, the priest says he's pretty sure that the cause of the outbreak was a farmer that came into town. He was very sick, and after he got there, everybody else started to get sick.
No, I remember.
But that's
Sorry, I remember that. No, I didn't remember that.
Yeah.
but not to say that there still couldn't be a link. It just the link would have been in some place these other people wouldn't have
The link's
seen,
different.
right?
If
Yeah.
if the tall slim guy is involved, he's not the cause, but he may be sending outriders out to infect places. Maybe I
We'll
don't, I
see.
don't I don't know how any of this works. So
Yeah. But I think we can
All
go
right.
chat with Billy a little bit.
all right,
So you eat breakfast. What time? Well, it's pretty early still when you go out. And is that the first place you're going? Is the saloon?
yeah,
Seems like it.
yeah.
Okay.
Seems like the most it seems like at least a good place to start, just so we know we
I
don't
think
get stabbed in
yeah.
the back by this Billy guy.
Okay. So yeah, you head to the saloon without incident.
I'm gonna walk up to the swinging doors. The
Okay.
lights are still off inside.
No, they're back on. And you do hear like the rattling of like bottles and stuff as you go inside, or as you stand there.
Billy, you in there?
Yeah, and I'm getting out of here. Is all you hear, and then you hear more clinking of bottles.
What happened last night?
So you hear bootsteps come towards the swinging doors, and he's like, "What do you mean? What happened last night? You didn't tell me there were those things in this town."
We told you something weird was going on, and you said you'd be safe in your room.
Well, there's weird, and there's dead bodies getting up.
Well, that's the thing. We don't know that they're dead. They just may rest during the day.
Well, they certainly seemed less than human when they came knocking at my door last night.
So, how come you're still you and not one of them?
Well, because I was locked in my room. I locked the door, and as soon as I heard noise, I pushed the dresser in front of the door.
Okay.
And I'll have you know, I have some special unguents and salves that protect the spirit. Okay, so that's why they do.
We did notice from the bell tower of the church a creature come out of some very tall, lanky man shape come out of the back of your wagon in the middle of the night and go back in just before sunup.
He gets he kind of frowns and gets a frown on his face and says, "I don't know what you're talking about. That doesn't sound like anything. No one could have gotten into my
Well, then
my."
you wouldn't mind coming out and opening it up where we saw the door and showing us what's in the wagon.
He says, "I'm getting out of here. I'm packing up some of these bottles that I've taken from the bar, putting them in my bag, and I'm getting out of here. I'm going to hitch up my horse, and I'm getting out of here." And so he kind of goes back into the back of the bar and starts
I,
loading more bottles
I
into a
yell over my
bag.
shoulder. I'm like, Chester, you still got that dynamite?
Yep.
Billy have any response to that?
Well, what are you going to do with dynamite? Is all he says. He's not putting two and two together.
We are going to open up that box in the back of your wagon one way or the other.
He comes back and he goes, "Listen, I just want to get out of here. I don't want to have anything to do with anything else in this town. I'm going to get my horse and I'm going to go."
Your horse is dead.
What? And he drops the bag and steps out into the road and walks out and he's like, "This is the worst outing I've had in a long time."
So about that door in the back of the wagon, you want to show us how that opens?
Sure. Yeah, he goes to the back of the wagon and he kind of wiggles the key, and he wiggles the key and opens it a little bit, and he reaches under and you see him fiddle with something. and then the like it like comes down. And it kind of
So you got the door booby trapped.
well, you have to keep your stuff safe.
We're not trying to steal from you, Billy.
So yeah, as he opens it, you do see there's a double-barreled shotgun set at the back of the small door. And he opens up the top. Yeah, and inside, you see he's got like bottles and bottles of like layers and layers of bottles of unguents and stuff like that, all packed in tight in boxes, along the sides of the cupboard. You guys can both make a notice check for me.
All right. So what? My notice, I think, is a D4.
Yeah, it's a D4 and a D6 is what you roll.
Okay, so I roll one of each. Okay.
Yep. And if
I
you
have
roll
a
a 4 or
I have a
6,
D6 and a D6.
correct. Yeah, you get your regular dice and your wild dice.
Go, Jeff, go. Go, Jeff, go.
Yeah, that
you
wasn't
get one
good.
D6 too.
I know. I don't know how to make it roll both. I rolled a 1 and a 3, so I'm too busy trying to cover. I'm too busy trying to cover Billy.
Mike did good though. Roll your 6 again.
9.
So you roll a 9.
Nice.
Yep. Like the first thing that goes through my head is that I'm not sure necessarily that that he was fiddling with something that was tied to the shotgun. My first thought was that, having dealt with outlaws most of my life, is that this is probably something to do with like smugglers and everything like that. Is that he was trying to either hide a false bottom.
What you notice, that is exactly what you notice. What you do notice is that there is a double-barreled shotgun set to shoot anyone that opens that door that doesn't do what he did. That's 100% for sure. Like it's made to level somebody. It's a set gun, and so that's true. But also, what you do notice is that the bottom of the carriage doesn't look as like the width is off. Like there's like it's recessed in the middle. Like there's a recess in the middle that's got boards over it or something that effect, or a door.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So it seems like I've dealt with these types before. Trying to smuggle outlaws.
You, Jeff, are think that all of it smells pretty in here. From like
Pretty?
it smells pretty in there.
It doesn't smell medicinal.
Well, he has some like perfumey stuff towards the
Okay.
front, so it smells.
So he's trying to cover up the scent of death in there.
Sweet and strong in there.
Okay. Damn, Billy, that stuff is potent.
Products for all types is what he says.
So
and he goes, "Can I shut this thing? Can I shut it now?"
So I grab my Winchester off my back and I'm like, I met your types before. What's in the bottom? And I kind of point the Winchester towards the thing that in these kind of smuggler type deals, I'm like, what's in there?
Roll. Okay, I'm gonna draw cards for initiative now.
Ooh, exciting.
So we're gonna shuffle these. So just so everybody knows, the Deadlands and the Savage World Rules does use a card initiative system. Do you have anything that gives you extra cards for your initiative, Mike?
I'm not aware of anything I took.
Okay.
No, not from like a what are those things called? Hindrance, edges. I have quick draw.
What does that do?
And dead shot. Quick
I have
draw
luck and I don't remember what that does.
Let's see. Gallows. Quick draw. Agility. You draw 2 cards when spending a Benny for an additional action card at the beginning of a round. You may choose your final action card from any of your available choices, including additional draws from level-headed, quick, etc.
Okay, so if you want to spend a Benny, you can get 2 cards.
Yeah, I'll spend a Benny.
Okay, so
I did pull out my Winchester.
Ooh, your first card, diamonds. And your second card. It's 6 of spades, so the king of diamonds is probably what you'll go for.
Okay.
Jewel, 3 of clubs, and Billy is the 9 of diamonds. That means you do go first, Mr. Chester.
Well, I mean, if so, like based on what so I took the Winchester out. It's ready and waiting. Safeties, just basically needs to come off. And I say, well, show me what's in the bottom, and he makes an overture to initiate some sort of physical violence.
Well, what he's going to do is what he does is he makes for the shotgun, the double-barreled shotgun.
Oh no.
But you are quicker than he is.
This is just like one of those things where I'm holding a gun and he's going for a gun, and I'm like, huh? I'll shoot him in the hip. Nice place to disable somebody. It's not my first rodeo. In fact, I've been to so many rodeos they're kind of boring at this point, I guess.
Well, he's not really a gunslinger either, so yeah, go ahead and roll your dice.
1 second, I am going to check one thing. Elderly. I don't know why it just makes me laugh
because it's funny that you made a character that is older than dirt.
Oh, okay. So I also have the edge dead shot. So when your action card is a joker, double the total damage of your first successful athletics or shooting roll this round.
It is not a joker though. It's a king.
Yeah, pretty nice though. Okay, so shooting him. I happen to be okay at shooting. I really don't want this guy to get the better of us. So
are you at like a -2 because you're old though, or no? It's because you're sick.
Well, so let's do Aelin and let's do this. So Aelin means that it's to resist fatigue.
Okay.
So if I need to resist fatigue, then yeah, I will.
Okay.
Do bad. And then for being elderly, that's a little bit different. In so much as that I already took the minus to my derived stats.
Okay.
But then
oh yeah, it comes off your like toughness and stuff. Okay.
Yeah, so I also suffer from -1 penalty to agility, strength, and vigor rolls, but not link skills.
Okay, yeah, so your shooting is fine.
Yep. So shooting. So yeah, so if you make me do an agility check, that's a little different.
You're rolling every time. You're rolling every time you come down that ladder in the bell tower from now
Jesus. on. 5.
Let's see. What is his parry? His parry is 4, so you do hit him.
Bang. I don't know how to do damage in this game, so you might want to explain.
Let me go. What's the damage on your? Do you remember the damage on your rifle?
So the damage on my gun.
2d8 -1. So roll your 2d8.
Okay, 2d8 -1. And I have 2 armor piercing, so if he has a very thick vest on, just in case.
Yeah, you don't really have to worry about that.
6 points of damage.
Okay. So he is shaken. So that means he can only take an action. The actions like run. I believe it's run, or let me go look, see what it is. Oh, we have a cheat sheet. I should go read. Let me go grab the cheat sheet real quick. So if you beat their toughness in one attack, you get them shaken, and they can only do free actions or run.
So I kind of like, I lean over in Jeff's direction. I was like, yeah, knew something was off about that guy. And
Right.
just that like Winchester, and the shell casing flies out as another one loads in.
So Jeff, it is your turn if you want to do something.
So what is Billy doing after he got shot?
Nothing yet. Or no, I'm sorry, Billy is. It is Billy's turn. So at this point, Billy can only he can make a spirit roll. Let me see what his spirit is to see if he can take other actions this turn.
Mm. The hot shell casing going through the air, landing on the ground.
Oh, there we go. So yeah, what he does is he does recover from the shaken status at this point. So he does grab the shotgun and takes a shot at you.
Jeff.
No. Incorrect. Let's see here. He's not very good at this stuff, so yeah, he takes a shot. He has a little bit of bonus because it's got buckshot in it. But it doesn't hit you. The pellets kind of go wide as your gunshot pierces his hip, shaking him, rattling him, and it kind of happens at the same time. Basically, is he gets his grip on the shotgun, but you manage to shoot him before he can pull the trigger. And as soon as he pulls the trigger, you basically lace up his hip, and he kind of leans against the trailer, the wagon, and drops the shotgun. It is your turn, Jeff.
So he drops the shotgun.
Yes, and he's grabbing his hip and screaming.
I have my pistol out, and I'm like, Billy, open the compartment, so I'm ready to fire if something happens.
He he says no. I'm not opening the compartment. You can take the key and you can open it yourself if you'd like. And he holds the key out to you.
What's going to happen when I open it?
He just shrugs.
I think you know, Billy. You don't want one of Chester's slugs in your body, do you?
If I open that, there are worse things than getting shot.
I trained the rifle on Billy just so if Jeff wants to grab the key, I have an opportunity to prevent shenanigans.
He does hold the key out to you. And yeah, so he hands you the key and kind of shuffles over off to the side of the wagon.
Did he show me where to?
Well, you have to crawl into the back. You have to crawl all the way into the back of the wagon, and it's awful dark. And it's awful dark in there.
I'm less excited about crawling into the wagon.
Well, how about this? How about we secure Billy, take him down to the sheriff's office, and see what's going in there before we start rooting around in a black carriage.
What's the carriage made out of?
Wood.
Wood burns, right?
Mm-hmm. Does.
Typically.
Okay, I'm just saying.
Okay. So you got Billy.
I have Billy's bag of alcohol.
Yeah. You have Billy holding his hip. His fine, like orangish suit stained with blood.
Let's try and take him to the sheriff's office.
Okay.
We have him walk ahead of us. Just
okay.
So you know.
He kind of gimps ahead of you. Walking. He doesn't walk very fast, and he's dragging his leg quite a bit because you did. His hip's probably broken, and he's walking like he's in a lot of pain. But yeah, he walks.
I'm just impressed he's still going. I mean, honestly, usually when I shoot people there, they don't tend to want to move. But
he's injured pretty bad, so
we encourage him with some drinks when he makes it down there.
But he is not incapacitated yet. So yeah, you take the bag. So you have the bag of liquor, Billy walking in front of you. Anything else?
The shotgun.
Okay,
I'm
picked up
keeping,
the shotgun.
like between him and the carriage, I am looking back just to make sure that something doesn't come out that maybe doesn't have the same rules as the other.
Okay, roll your notice.
Oh no.
Both of you can roll your notice.
Oh yeah, that's been so effective for me. So here, let me jump right on that roll on my D4 notice. Let's go.
There's a weird
I
delay
almost did
to
it.
it.
I almost did it right.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
I figured out the syntax though. I got a 2 and a 5.
2 and a 5. Okay. And a 5 and a 2.
5 as well.
Oh, yep. You guys don't notice anything. And then you get to the jail, or the sheriff's office. It's not too far away from the saloon. And you do notice that the door is heavily clawed at and everything of that nature, but it's still closed.
Okay. I think, but one of the things I'd like to do is now that we have Billy as more of a captive um, individual, I think it would be good to press him on his story just a little bit. I mean, you can at least tell us what you're doing. Are you just traveling town to town, bringing this thing with you? And do they all end up like this?
He just sticks to his story that he doesn't know what you're talking about. He's like, you didn't open the bottom of the carriage. Like, there's just stuff in there there's valuables that I sell.
And do you have any repeat customers that you go back to?
I sell the finest in perfumes and unguents. He just sticks to his snake oil salesman story.
Okay.
What do you do when you get to the sheriff's office?
I wonder why that would be scratching at this. Do you, Jeff? Do you want to go up and knock, or we'll go
Yeah,
have
I'm gonna
Billy
knock
knock?
with the butt end of the shotgun real hard.
Yeah, same thing. There's no answer.
I think we should walk around, see if there's a back door.
And does this have? I mean, at this point, does this have glass on it? Like, is there a glass window in the front, or is it
Mm-mm.
just a solid wooden door?
It's just a solid wooden door. There are there is a glass window kind of to the side of the door. That you guys can probably break to get in if you wanted. It's got like curtains over it though.
Okay. What do you think? Do you want to go in that way and throw in a rock and try to knock down those curtains?
Yeah, I'll just bust it out with the shotgun, the butt of the shotgun,
Okay,
the window.
you bust it out with the butt of the shotgun. The glass kind of breaks inside, and you do get the strong scent of death and flies from within the sheriff's office.
Whoa,
Hmm.
does it smell like it did at the hotel?
It does not.
So this smells more like normal death.
Yes.
I reach in and whatever curtains up there, I try to pull it out.
Yeah, so you pull the curtain off, and when you pull the curtain off, what you notice is that there's like scripture written on the inside of the curtains, and as you pull it out, there's also crosses hanging above the window.
I think we should just toss Billy in through the window.
Up to you. Billy doesn't seem
I'll
probably
try
too
to
willing
climb
to.
in. I'll try to climb in.
Okay, yeah, you climb in. The offices, there's a front kind of area, like a desk where probably the deputy or a couple deputies like sit. Um, and then there's another door over the back that's slightly ajar. Um, and that's where the like smell and the flies are coming from.
All right. I go to see if I can unlock the front door.
Yep, it looks like there's basically just a couple like boards that have been nailed to the frame of the door. So it takes you a few minutes, and you can knock them loose with the shotgun, and then open the door.
All right, I do that. So I can get Chester in here with Billy.
The door swings open. Roll for fright to see if you
are there
shoot you.
cells in here, or is that maybe through the back door? Do we think?
Nope, there's a separate jail building.
Okay. All right. Well, I mean, no
This
time like
is
the present to see what's in the
just the
back room.
This is just the sheriff's office. So, you go in. What are you doing with Billy?
I guess haven't. Well, do we see anything like cuffs or anything like that in here?
Not in the front.
Okay. Well, j- um,
Any keys like in a desk or anything?
Yeah. You search the desk. You find the jail keys. You don't find any handcuffs. There's some paperwork, jail keys, wanted posters in the little desk. Um,
Any of them look like Billy?
None of them look like Billy.
Okay.
any of them look like Slender Man? Or what?
That is a possibility.
That's a real question. Anyone weird, slender proportioned
There's
human?
nothing like that. They look like normal people, normal thugs and ruffians.
All right. Do we tell Billy to sit down? And first of all, I mean, at this point,
Let's take him out to the jail.
okay. Do you want to check the back room before we do that?
Yeah.
I have a feeling that the sheriff probably saw what was happening and decided it was time for a quick trip.
So yeah, what do you? Yep.
All right,
Tell me what you guys are doing.
Michael, cover Billy and try to also be able to help with me if it comes up, and I will look around for.
Okay. So you're staying in the room with Billy, Chester, and you're going in the back room.
Yes.
Okay. So yeah, as you enter the back room, you do. I mean, the smell is very strong as you enter this back room. Behind the sheriff's desk, you do see a gore on the back wall as the sheriff obviously took a different road. He opted out early of the situation that was happening in the town.
Quick trip.
Yeah, he you see, his gun, he's kind of slumped back in a kind of a chair that he had behind his desk, kind of laid back like this. In the office there is looks like a gun cabinet that's locked. There's and then again posters. If you look through the desk, and on him there's a set of handcuffs and keys. And then there's the gun cabinet. It's pretty sparse other than that.
Did he leave any note or anything, or he just did the deed? And
there is a note. It is covered in some gore. The note basically says, let me go look at one thing really quick. The note starts with I, Patrick Glass, Sheriff of Rifton's Rise, or Rifton's Rest, do proclaim this unholy land. The dead have been rising since John, the farmer, came into town. People have been getting sick. There is a pestilence and a curse upon this place. God have mercy on our souls. And then it's signed his name.
all right. I basically shout this back to Chester. The sheriff checked out. Heard some biblical nonsense about the dead rising. I mean, I pocket the note. I also take the key and open the gun cabinet. What do they have?
They have a couple of Winchester rifles for ease of use. They're just like Mike's, and a couple shotguns. There's about, let's say, 3 Winchester rifles, 2 shotguns, and then there's the sheriff's pistol, and then an extra pistol in there, plus ammo.
Okay.
Do I see any
pack it up.
saddlebags or anything they can,
Sure. There's some saddlebags that you can make use of.
Yeah.
And there's there's an extra pair of handcuffs in there as well, plus the handcuffs on the sheriff.
All right, I grab the 2 pairs of handcuffs and I put one, over my belt, and take the other one out to Chester.
Okay.
Or I guess I'll take the other one out and put it on Billy while Chester covers Billy.
There you go.
Yep, that's what I was about to say. I don't need to say, but Billy does.
Yeah. Well, I don't know what you get up to at night when I'm having my night terrors. So
just a lot of peeing.
fair enough. So I put the handcuffs on Billy.
Okay, you lock Billy up. And
I also have the.
He says like this really isn't necessary. Like you guys could just let me go. I'll just leave town.
How are you leaving town, Billy?
I will walk out of town.
They will catch you unless they know you and aren't going to do anything to you. And in that case, maybe we don't want you to go.
I told you my engines keep them away from me, and I'm very fast.
Not anymore. And I kind of tap him on the leg near the bullet wound.
He just frowns.
So I think we put him in the jail with some bandages or some cloth, and we let him dress his own wound. And then we go back and take these firearms back, and I think we just investigate the carriage. Honestly, after we subdue Billy.
Unfortunately, in looking at the rules for dynamite, it's not nearly as impressive as I was hoping.
Well, narratively, it'll be nice. It'll be fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know what holy terror walked out of there, but I don't believe Billy survived the night in that hotel or in the bar, room without some help. I just don't believe a thing that the damn fool says at this point.
Well, it could be powers beyond our reckoning. He might not be aware of what he's doing. Sorry, Billy, for shooting you in that, if that's the case.
All right, I find some stuff that's going to work for bandages.
Okay.
So he doesn't bleed to death.
Yeah, there's the curtains. I mean, there's like that sort of thing.
Yeah, the curtains with the scripture written on them. We'll see how he reacts to those.
Yeah.
Cut him into strips.
Okay, so and then you go over to the jail.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you go over to the jail. Use one of the keys and unlock the jail door. There's about 4 cells in it, 2 on each side, like a straight piece. It's kind of a small little building. When you do open the door, though, you do get that smell again, that like ammonia, unholy smell that you smelled before. That you now have come to relate to, the things.
So how many of them are in there?
Well, you'd have to go inside and look, because it's basically there's bars, then solid walls. There's nothing in the first 2 cells that you can see if you just look around the corner.
All right, so we'll bring Billy in and look at the back 2 cells.
Okay. And which there are windows with bars in them in each of the cells, and so as you look in the back left corner, you do see that there's basically like a bed or a cot. There's a cot in each one, and it's basically been kind of upturned, so it leans against the wall and makes a space where the light can't shine. And it's covered in blankets and everything.
How high up are the windows?
You 6 feet.
6 feet, and do they just have bars on them, or is there glass involved?
Bars, just bars.
Chester, cover him. I'm gonna go outside. I'm gonna poke at the bed with the shotgun to knock it over. See what happens.
You get like, I mean, you kind of have. How tall is your character? Because like you'd have to like,
the window's at 6 feet, and even if I'm like 5'6" or 5'8",
but you'd have to like,
my arm is another 2 feet,
and then like this, but you can't really reach the bed. It's pushed as far away in the other corner as possible. They're like 6 by 6 cells. Yeah, they're like 6 by 6 cells. Okay. So they're small, but you can't really. It's on the back wall, and it's pushed as far. Well, I guess it'd be on this corner. Roll your agility for me. I'll let dice decide.
I'll try. Agility is a D6, so 2d6.
Yep.
Four and a 4.
Two
So 4.
fours. So yeah, you do manage. Basically, you manage to push the bed away. Sure. So you push the bed away, and what happens is as the sunlight shines directly on the creature that's locked in the cell, it starts smoking, and then it just bursts into flames, like very hot, quick burning flames, and just basically reduces to ash in the cell. It's screaming. I mean, screaming horribly.
What the
Worse
hell
than
was
the
that,
rabbits.
Chester? I'm still outside.
Yeah, smoke's billowing out of the cell window.
Everything okay?
Thick,
Right.
black, noxious smoke.
I kind of poke Billy. I kind of say, Billy, what was that? You seem to be the medical type. Why don't you give us a
Billy's trying
explanation?
to backpedal. He's like, I don't know what that was. You can't lock me in there with whatever's in there.
Well, it's gone now, right?
Is it?
Well, you could tell us if it is or isn't. I guess.
You go look. That's what he says.
Nah, I'm good.
I've come around the building. Everything all right in there, Chester?
Yeah. Black smoke's billowing out the front too. It's definitely hot and humid in there, and smells like charred meat.
Barbecue?
Not pleasant barbecue, like very burned,
burnt barbecue.
Acrid. Yeah.
So in essence, I tell him, no, it's not all right. No, not good in here at all. But those first few cells were empty, weren't they? We could put Billy in one of those.
Yeah.
Okay. So take him, push him into one of the cells, slam the iron gate closed, and then wait for Jeff to lock it up.
I lock it up and I go, Billy, when you put on those bandages, make sure you get them real tight. They're not so tight that they hurt. They're not going to stop the bleeding.
Do you take the handcuffs off while you have him back up to the cell? You just leave him in the handcuffs?
But he's handcuffed.
You're in the front?
Back.
Okay.
Yeah.
He's just cursing you at this point. He's cursing you, your mother, your mother's mother, pretty much everything that you've ever heard as far as horrible things to say to another human being.
That's okay. We're gonna tell the creature in your wagon that you're the one who told us about him.
I'm gonna lean over to Jeff real quick though and be like, "Any of those curses gonna work?"
I don't think they're gonna work any better than his unguents and potions.
It was more like curses, like as in curse words, not like as in actual like like Latin.
just being extra cautious in my old age. Don't want to fall down to one of these.
Billy has a foul mouth, is what you know now.
I don't know. I didn't know all those swear words.
All right.
Okay. Well, I guess we go back to the carriage.
And the guy who has the power to shut off all the lights.
Oh yeah. So you go back to the carriage.
Probably just hit the switch.
Do you think there's one switch that powers the entire building?
You can only see in the front.
I know.
So
I know.
I'm not an electrician, buddy.
So you guys talk about how electricity works on your way back to the
because
wagon.
We're both super knowledgeable about electricity.
That's what makes the conversation funny. Is neither of you really know anything about it.
I'm like, it just hit the switch, man. Like that's all they did. And you're like, but the entire building. I'm like,
the spirits, sir. Anyways, so yeah, you get back to the
Right,
what are you doing
I
now?
have the key, but I'm gonna do my old familiar shotgun knock on the floorboard of the wagon.
Before you do that, as you peer into the darkness of the wagon, you notice that the like cupboard type doors that you kind of saw, well, the Chester kind of saw as you guys were looking in. That's what he noticed. It's open. It's wide open. The doors are like this, and they're basically folded open. And yeah, you see inside an empty cavity,
Hmm.
about a foot deep, loamy earth inside that you can smell, worms and bugs crawling in the earth, but it's empty now.
Okay, I take one of Billy's bottles of liquor and one of the extra bandages I cut. I soak
Okay.
it in the liquor. I stuff it in the neck of the bottle. And I go, Chester, you want to give me a light?
Sure. Take a match.
I'm going to throw it inside the carriage into the back wall and try to throw it hard enough to break the bottle.
Okay.
Whether it breaks or not, I don't know.
I'm not gonna make you roll for it, although it'd be funny if you just bounced it off the back wall. So yeah, you throw it in there and it explodes and starts on fire. Roll me a. Never mind. Yeah, so the whole thing starts on fire. What you do note is that some of the oils and things that he has in the caravan like go up very fast. You start hearing like popping and exploding.
I'm Chester. We need to back up. I didn't account. I didn't account for. I didn't account for that in my calculations.
Yeah,
I counted
so
for one bottle of whiskey.
So after a few moments, it is a roaring fire, fairly close to the saloon. It doesn't look like it has caught the saloon on fire yet, but it's pretty tall. The oils that he had inside just adding fuel to the fire. You hear popping and breaking glass, and there's just a large hot fire burning fairly tall into the early morning sky, starting to get late morning.
Okay.
So it's not in there anymore.
Doesn't appear to be.
I checked as it's burst into flames. I doubt anything is under there, but I like look just to kind of see if there's anything under the belly of the carriage.
Nope, and it's pretty hard to get close because it's
But
very
I'm not
hot.
getting close. I'm just like, do I see anything like gripping the bottom? Like,
nope.
Okay. Well, so I guess at this point, I mean, now we just, these town folk are scared. It's daytime. We got the element of surprise. Do we go building to building and
you do have the element of surprise?
Well, they're asleep. Last I checked. I mean, maybe they're awake. Well, that'll be fun.
I don't think they're asleep anymore.
Well, what are they going to do about it, though? I mean, really. And the townsfolk, I mean, it wasn't conditional like we had to save the town by leaving it not on fire.
Okay, is this where we adjudicate the mission parameters?
Yeah, we just arrived into town. I just wanted to drop off my bounty, goddammit. I don't even know if my horse is okay. Buck. Vampire horse. So yeah, so I think, I mean, my suggestion is that the townsfolk probably need something to defend themselves with, and we got the saddlebag of weapons and ammunition. I mean, if they're farmhands, they should be able to handle a gun at least a little bit.
At least a bit.
So I think that's probably the next destination we head towards. Kind of flaming carriage in our rear, you know, the silhouette of.
Where are you headed towards?
Back to the church.
Okay.
Kind of get the father's permission to go on a crusade against these damnable creatures, and then mark crucifixes all over our body. I don't know.
Okay, you guys head back to the church.
Quick, does anybody have a tattoo gun?
No. I think the goal there is just to drop the weapons off, just so they have something in case they need it.
And
so we don't, hopefully they don't shoot us.
In the church. I don't know that these creatures would use them, but Billy might. He seemed to might upset with us.
A little bit. And then I think that would be my plan. To go with just
You go drop off the guns. And a couple of them do know how to use the rifles. And so they start they load them and prep for the night.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Do we? I mean, does we talk with them and just like
The priest says,
meeting?
"Did you find any food?"
Not yet.
We don't have any food.
Okay. Well, we'll go look for some. Had to deal with some loose ends first.
There should be some. And what's on fire? Like that looks like it's a big fire.
Well, the fire.
I look at Jeff. Jubal.
It's a wagon from a huckster selling snake oil.
Is the town going to be okay? I mean,
well, I've got good news and bad news.
Okay.
The good news is if the town catches fire, all of the creatures might die.
One problem is solved.
The bad news is
your town might be on fire.
The town might be saved because the wagon doesn't catch everything on fire, and those creatures are going to come here tonight a little more upset than they were this morning or last night. So the good news is that we burned down the whole town, but we weren't going to do that without some permission.
Was that your roundabout way of asking for permission?
Yeah.
We weren't going to burn it down without your permission.
Well, they would rather not burn the whole town. If you are actually asking, they say, well, we'd rather have a town to come back to.
Well, you know what?
Well, that town might be any other town but this town.
I just say buildings can be rebuilt. How wise am I?
Buildings, you can fix that.
Yeah, I just say.
Hey, the mother of the place with the big horse thing, right? The house that's essentially across from the church.
Yeah. Preston?
Yeah, is that? Sorry, I don't have the key up.
I have my. Let me go make sure I had the name right. Pearson.
I asked her if they had a decent store of food at their house.
She's like, we did have some supplies. There's also supplies in the hotel, the hospitality hotel. But we do have some supplies in the house. Yeah.
Was there a general store on that map?
There is a general store as well.
Why don't we go there first and try to?
All right, the general store might have fewer of them. I don't know. Let's go to the general store, and we will try not to set fire to anything else.
Just kind of reminds me of like those easy bake.
Oh, because the general store is literally right next to the church too. Yeah, let's go to the general store.
Okay.
Oh yeah, so you walk to the short distance to the general store.
Okay.
Is the front door open?
It's not locked. You can just open it and go in.
Are the windows covered up like everywhere else?
Nope.
Okay. Let's walk into the general store then.
Okay. Gun ready. I gotta be caught unawares by these things.
So yeah, you walk into the general store. It's pretty much an open layout. There's some stuff. There's a counter with some of the like stuff that you'd have to ask the person for, like tobacco and stuff like that. But then other than that, there's barrels of whatever food you can think of. It's pretty well stocked. It has been a few days, so anything that's perishable in a few days is starting to go bad. But
so you're saying the bananas are now very ripe?
Yes, very ripe bananas.
Because that was what Western towns were known for, was
bananas. Yeah.
All the way from Maryland.
There's a barrel of like pickles, like there's foodstuffs inside, a lot of there's still dried meats, things like that. So
okay. So we start grabbing some containers and trying to load some stuff into things like without contaminating or ruining stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You don't worry about that. Food is food at this point.
Yeah,
I'm not going to be
not everybody's as unpicky as you, Chester.
Chester's chewing on jerky as he's going to the place.
I'm just like, as I'm chewing it, pieces are falling off with the other jerky I'm taking.
Yeah, you're basically just like.
I remember that time you picked up the picked up the jerky that had fallen into your horse's droppings.
You know, a man's got to eat.
No, it's when he puts the jerky under the saddle, so the saddle sweat and everything like loosens, softens the
Moistens it up
jerky
a
up.
little bit, softens
Yeah,
it,
after a
so his
day's
teeth don't fall out.
after a day's long day's ride. Yeah, it's that.
That special
That was the
blend.
moment.
Saddle
But yeah,
sweat and fly bites.
so yeah, so there's you get some, you know, pickles, canned good, like jarred goods, dried meats of all jerkied meats of all sorts of flavors, pretty much anything for the trail. As you're looking around, the only thing that you do see there's a root cellar if you want to look for anything like that is you store in a root cellar, anything that needs it to be a little bit cool. But that's the only place that you think something could be hiding. Other than that, it's very open.
All right. We should at least get the stuff out on the porch, but let's go back in, and I hate to say this, but will you cover me as we check out the root cellar?
Yeah. I like watch him go down. Because is this one of those root cellars that's like the steep staircase? Sure.
Is there lights?
No, there's no light in there. You have to get a lantern to go down there.
All right, I'll get a lantern.
Okay.
I have a lantern and a pistol and a Chester following closely behind me.
So yeah, as soon as you open the drop door to go down to the you definitely know there's one in there because you can smell it. So it's up to you if you want to continue or not, but there's definitely one in there. You can smell it in the root cellar. That's obviously where it's sleeping for the day.
So rather than following Jubal down my gun,
if I smelled it, I'm not going to go
watching
down
the front door just to make sure nothing
down.
untoward comes to us from behind as he's going.
I'm going to shut the door very loudly. And what do I think the heaviest thing that can be moved is inside this?
There's like a pickle barrel. It's filled with water and pickles, so it's heavy.
Could this be like chained down, like, you know, Night of the Living Dead chained down or whatever? Or
there's not a. It's like a wooden plank over it with like a cutout that you use for a handle. There's nothing in it it's flat, so there's nothing really you could chain it. You could move the barrel over the top.
I think we should move the barrel over the door. It's not that its friends couldn't help it tonight, but it can't get out until then.
Unless it's stronger than we know. So sure, I'll help you move the barrel over.
All right, we slowly
and it
roll. You know how you kind of get it up on edge. And
I was debating whether or not I need to make you one of those body checks, so see if your character dies or not. But I think you're fine. You guys take enough time that you can move the barrel over.
Right.
Like
you move it a little ways. You move it a little ways. Yeah, you move it a little ways, and then like Chester's like, and you think, damn, it's a good thing you're a good shot. And then he moves.
Why is water so heavy?
And then you move it a little ways. And then he takes a breath. But you get it there eventually.
Some of the pickle juice, you know, for electrolytes. Don't want to make it too light though. Gotta just take a ladle of it.
Don't drink too much, Chester. You'll be making water all day.
Oh God! Don't even tell me.
You'll get brine yourself. But yeah, so you manage to like kind of get it up on its edge and like roll it over and put it over the door.
Okay.
He gets 95% of that.
As long as nothing can come out, like, you know, like I said, something may help it tonight, or maybe not. I don't know how. All right, let's take food over to the church.
Okay.
It's probably a couple of trips.
Yeah, and there's some water skins that you guys have water into. Yeah.
I'd like to check on the status of the saloon burning. Is it on fire?
Yeah, the saloon's on fire now. Yeah. Yeah, it's burning pretty hot. The carriage is still burning, but yeah, the saloon also caught on fire now.
It looks like it was a little closer than we expected.
Yeah, I really didn't think it was going to catch. It must have been those onions.
I blame them onions.
Better than we thought.
I blame them onions.
Let's get the food over, and then we can go check. And I don't know, maybe we can check the telegraph office. I just don't know how to send a telegraph.
Doesn't everybody? Isn't that common knowledge?
Morse, yeah, yes, I can tap the thing, but I don't
No,
know more. I don't believe I know Morse
you can
code.
tap on the thing, yeah. You can tell you it's Morse code because you don't know Morse code either.
Oh, I bet they got a cheat sheet. That doesn't mean I can do it effectively. Eventually, my dots start sounding like dashes as I'm slowly.
So yeah, it takes you. You go back and forth. It takes you about an hour. So we're gonna say it's about noon by the time you guys get done.
Okay.
Getting everything loaded over to the church. Oh, let's say closer to 1. So it's closer to 1 as you guys get everything. They're very thankful that you brought all the food. They're thankful for the armaments. What would you like to do now?
Well, I think it's time to go hunting because I don't know where you don't know where that long lanky thing went. I don't know where it went.
No, it may have even already freed its buddy from the jail. I don't know.
It's possible, but I think we got to go find it because it seems as though it may be willing to take a little bit of sunlight as opposed to those other ones.
Let's go check the Pearson house.
Okay.
I thought I saw some motion in there when we took the kid yesterday. When we rescued him.
Okay. So yeah, 1 second. Let me update this. One sec.
I drank too much pickle juice.
Make water behind the corner.
Yeah, you're out of the church. You can pretty much go wherever you want. No one's going to judge you too harshly. But yeah, so you guys head to the Pearson house?
Yeah.
Okay. Yep. Pearson house, door opens, it's unlocked. It's a nice little, cabin style Western home. It is strongly smells of the scent. You assume the father is in here.
How close to the nearest window?
I'm
assuming it's got stuff over it.
Yeah, it does. He's not in this is like a common area, like a kind of like a living room. There is a window, a couple windows in this room.
I start pulling down blankets or sheets or towels or whatever the hell
Okay,
they put over
their blankets have been put over the windows. So
I cover him.
I tear down the blankets and throw them outside.
Wait, you're going behind him and covering the windows back up when he?
Yeah, I guess.
It's now a Three Stooges skit.
I pull him down. I cover him.
He did tell me to cover him.
So he just throws a blanket over you. So yeah, you watch him as he, the 3 windows, the 2 on the main wall, and then on the one on the far wall, you pull down the blankets. Light streams into the rocking chair and kind of pictures and everything.
So how many rooms can we see from here? I'm assuming it's just not an all open floor plan.
Yeah, there's this one common room, and then there's like the kitchen, and then there's another, and then there's stairs up to the second floor where you assume all the like living room, like the bedrooms are.
Okay, I'm gonna pull whatever on the main floor. I'm gonna pull all the blankets off the windows, like in the kitchen and stuff. Even though the kitchen probably doesn't have a ton of windows.
Yeah, there's one kitchen, small window in the kitchen, which you can uncover, and there's some supplies and stuff in there, but there's nothing. There's a back door in the kitchen, so there's the front door and then the back door, and then there's the stairs up.
All right. I think we need to go upstairs. Chet, is there any sort of a trapdoor to go down? Do they have a root cellar?
They do have a root cellar set up similar to the one in the general store.
I lift the door.
Okay.
Does the smell waft out at me?
It does not. There's kind of a general smell to the house, but it's not stronger coming out of the root cellar.
Okay. I shut it and
Well, since you've been so generous taking lead on everything else, I'll take lead going up the stairs. I'm going to put
Alright.
my rifle away though and use my pistol just because it'll be a little better short range, I think.
I have my I still have the shotgun.
Okay. So you go up the stairs, and as you come up
Actually, can
this,
I even use a shotgun? I might just have my pistol.
yeah, it's just a shoot skill. I'm not gonna like you can specialize, but that's fine. So yes, you can use a shotgun. So yeah, you go up the stairs, and you enter kind of a little hallway area. And there's 3 bedrooms probably up here, one larger bedroom and 2 smaller bedrooms. Um, what do you want to do?
Okay, so because we've made enough noise and everything like that, as I go up the stairs, do I hear like the floorboards like creaking under me and everything like that, or is it a pretty sturdy house?
Where you step, where your boots kind of step, you hear the click of your heels and the squeal of the floorboards. Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna
Unless you want to roll a sneak, do you have a stealth at all?
I'm gonna roll a stealth just to kind of make my way through here a little bit more quietly. So D10 plus D6.
Wow.
Chester's a shadow runner. Shoot and
Apparently he is.
shooting
Chester's kind of crazy, man.
shooting stealth. Oh, you crit failed.
I did.
That is beautiful. Can you go and read your flaw for us? Your ill flaw for us?
I don't know if it applies in this scenario. Let's check. My Aelin one.
Yeah, you should read it.
Okay. Mean to subtract. Well, it says a critical failure on such a roll. So a critical failure on a fatigue roll. So as long as it's not fatigue, I'm fine, I think.
A critical failure. Oh, it's just a fatigue roll?
Yeah, but it's just fatigue. So
the sadness. I thought it was critical on everything. Read the whole rules, Brent. Okay, so
yep.
you did critically fail. You did roll 2 1s.
Oh yeah, I go to like lift my boot up and I just start stomping up the stairs like a toddler. Dum 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 dum.
So where do you go?
Well, as soon as I heard, so basically what I think happened is I think that my character was like, I stepped on something that, like, you know how the squeaky board is just kind of like, "Reet," and I think in my mind I made it a bigger sound than I thought it was, but so I rushed up the stairs, got to the first door, and I literally kicked it in, to try to gain surprise on something. So whatever door was quickest, and Jeff just sees like he just sees just
You hear
uncharacteristically
the
loud.
loudest assortment of noises coming from upstairs.
I'm trying to
Uh,
follow him up.
and you hear
Yeah,
this,
like cowboy boots, like clack,
and you
clack, clack,
hear
clack, clack.
the stomp of his boot on the door. It opens up into a small room that looks like a kid's room. However, what happens when you kick open the door is the door to the master bedroom, which is probably the adult's bedroom, opens up and a creature wrapped in like dark clothing basically attacks you. So I'm going to give it an attack round because your roll is a critical failure, and then we'll pull cards for initiative. So
Okay, I
let's.
accept that role because I basically stomped into the wrong room.
You made some air. You thought you were quiet though. You're like, shh, and then you just bashed the door open. Shh, what's up? Yeah. So let's see.
I drowned him in water.
Yeah, you drown him in water.
Make a medicine check.
What's your parry?
What's a parry? This the thing? 5.
You 5. Okay, so it hits you.
Okay, cool.
Now we have to look and see how combat actually works. What's your toughness?
Mm.
Oh, I remember now where the problem was.
Mm. 2.
Okay. Target number is parry, which I got right.
Making new heroes. What was that?
Not yet. Okay, so now we roll for its damage.
Oh wait, so toughness is 2 plus half your vigor die. It's actually not 2. Let me double check because I think it was half my vigor die. So that's D4. So that should be 4. Oh, and then because I'm elderly or ailing, I'm sure one of those is going to.
Yeah, those
Okay.
don't sound like they help toughness, but what do I know?
They don't
your
help.
pace is reduced by 1. Subtract -1. Also knowledge skills. Okay, just making sure I didn't because I only have 2, but let's see. I wonder why I thought I only had 2. I think I have 4 actually. 4 toughness.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. So do you have any armor? We have to look now. We have to look how damage works.
Let's see. I have a shirt. I have a duster. Duster didn't say it was armor. Does he hit me in the leg? No, I was kidding. No, I don't believe I have any armor unless a duster counts as armor, which I don't recall it.
Okay, so it beat your toughness of 4.
Mhm.
It did 9 points of damage. So that means that you are shaken, which means you'll have to make a spirit roll at the beginning of the next round to take any action. And for each raise, so there's each 4 above your each 4 above the target number, which was 4, you take a wound. So you are shaken and take a wound.
Okay, where are my wounds on here? 1 second. Boom, 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 boom. Okay, so I take a wound at this point, or I take a wound after I'm.
No, you take a wound. You take the wound you are shaken and you are wounded. You're shaken because the attack was over your toughness of
Mhm.
4, and then it was another 4. It was actually 5 above your toughness because you did 9 points of damage. It was actually 5 above your toughness, which means he gets a raise, which means you take a wound.
Okay, so I'm shaken as well. I don't see where I can put shaken, so I'll just mark it.
Yeah, shaken's just a status. I'll remember. It just means that you can only run or take free actions on your turn unless you make a at the start of your
Spirit roll.
turn you can make a spirit roll. You can spend a Benny, or you could also spend a Benny now. Where did my sheet go? When to avoid spend a chip and roll on a vigor check for each success and each raise prevent 1 wound you would take from the attack. So if you want to spend a Benny and make a roll, you could avoid the wound if you want.
Spend a Benny and make a roll.
Yeah, to roll a vigor, or you can just wait, and on your turn you can spend a Benny. You'll keep the roll, but you would spend the Benny, and you could just act as normal.
Okay. Well, I'll spend the Benny then because
Right now,
as it is, no, with it as it is now. If I don't spend a Benny, I'm probably not going to recover from shaken with a D2.
you're correct. That's probably correct. All right. So what you see, Jubal, is you're kind of from you're halfway, you're up the stairs and your head's kind of like peeking over. You see Chester just wail on that door. His booted heel hits near the lock, and the
Right.
door just slams open. And the minute that he makes that noise, a figure, kind of a shadowy figure, comes out of the doorway behind him and latches onto his back and sinks his teeth into his shoulder. Now I'm going to draw cards for you guys. Mike, you'll get 2 cards. You got a 3 and another 3. Jeff, you got an 8 and 2 for the baddie. So Jeff, you were first.
I don't know if the shotgun's the right weapon at this point. drop the shotgun, grab
Okay.
my deck of cards, and use Bolt.
All right. Cool. You see how to do a power now. So first thing you have to do is you have the PowerPoints for it, I'm sure.
The PowerPoints are 1. So how many PowerPoints do I have? Hang on. What the hell are my PowerPoints? I thought we talked about this when we were setting up the character.
I thought we did as well.
I wasn't paying attention because I don't have PowerPoint. Sorry.
No, that's okay. I have to be able to cast something at 1, right?
Yeah, I'm sure you have the PowerPoints for it. You can go ahead and just cast. So you're going to roll, I believe it's your spirit at this point. Your spirit plus a d6, please.
Is that what it is?
To cast powers, I believe it's your spirit, I believe. Let me go grab the huckster rules.
Range is
real quick.
smarts times 2. Duration is instant.
You're definitely within range.
There are no range penalties.
You have 10 power points to start. Oh no, it's your spell casting ability. It'll be your spell casting ability plus what d6.
Okay, so my spell casting is a d8.
Yep.
So a d8 plus a d6.
Mhm.
All right. A 1 and a 6.
Okay.
So I get to reroll the 6.
Yep.
Or explode it. So a 9.
So you got a 9. So you got a success because you're over 4, and then you also got a raise because you're another 4 over. What does the bolt say that you get out of the raise?
It's 3d6 with a raise damage instead of 2d6.
Okay, so you do 3d6 damage.
All right, so it's appearing. The trappings are just how it looks. It's gonna look like fire shooting into it.
Okay.
But I don't think that means anything.
Yeah, just like from the deck, you're like you fan your cards out and you throw a card that kind of explodes in a fireball towards the creature.
All right, so 3d6. 7 points of damage.
7 points of damage. Let me double check its toughness.
I'm gonna be honest with you, Chester. That damage roll could have been better. A 2, a 1, and a 4.
So let me double check. Let me check what happens when you match toughness.
His toughness is 7. Okay, we're F.
Well, no.
You're comparing it to somebody whose toughness is 4, which is low.
Yeah, my toughness is 5. So
let's see. Oh, cheat sheet. That's what I was looking for.
I'm surprised this guy would beat up an elderly like that.
So it is it meets or beats, so it is shaken. So it will not be able to do anything but run or simple actions unless it makes a spirit roll its next turn. So, but it isn't wounded. You didn't get any raise on that. You could, I think, spend a Benny to re-roll the damage if you'd like to try that.
I will.
Okay. If that's not the way it works, that's the way we're working for now. Because it's fire or something.
No, I'm going to spend one of the bennies. Chester's pretty fucked up. 15. Is that better?
Yeah, actually re-roll your 6s. They explode.
Oh, those explode?
Yeah.
2d6. All right. 15 plus 6, so 21.
21.
Is that to re-roll your damage because you spent a Benny?
I spent a Benny.
Yeah.
That makes sense. I was going to suggest it, but I was like, I don't want to necessarily butt
So
into
it is shaken, and then so its toughness is 7. So it's shaken minus, what did you make it? 21?
21.
21. So that means 14 left, which would be a raise every 4. Oh, math. 7 for that would be 3 more wounds, right? Or 2
That
wounds.
sounds
So-
like 3 wounds.
3.
That
So
would be
how
12, 12 points over,
so if
and
you
I'm
did-
14 over.
Yeah, if you're 12 to 15 points of damage over toughness, that's 3 wounds and shaken.
Well, he's 21 over. So yeah. The magic of your cards is super effective. So you throw a card that bursts into a fireball, and you hit it in the back as it's rolling on, as its teeth are sunk into Chester's back, and it basically lights up on fire. It lets go of Chester and runs back into the room and explodes. Much like before, like Chester saw this before, you didn't, but what you see is its body kind of just light into flames, super hot, super localized, and just reduces itself to ash, screaming the whole way.
Uh-oh.
You okay, Chester?
I don't
Chester
think so.
is not okay.
I don't think we're going to be able to sweep house to house like this.
Oh, maybe we should let the fire take him. I kind of like try to get my shoulder exposed so I can have Jeff see it. I'm like, how bad is it?
Make a vigor roll for me, Chester.
So I use the -1 because I have -1. I have a wound, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then I have a -1 because I'm elderly, I think.
Yep.
Let me double check. Let me just make sure. Elderly. So he suffers a -1 penalty to agility strength. So I think so that would be I'd roll a D4 -2. Excellent. The D6 is still there.
Yeah, the
Well, that's
D6
good,
is
right?
still there. Yeah, it is.
So
Chester looks hale and hearty, but he's definitely not. Oh,
Hale
right.
and Hardy is that. Sorry, I didn't mean to laugh, but that was 2 criticals in a row.
That was 2 critical
was 2
failures in a
criticals
row.
Would you like to spend a Benny to re-roll that?
You know, I was always wondering what it would be like to be a vampire. No. Yeah, I'm gonna re-roll that with a Benny because that was bad.
That's the
But
worst thing you could have done. Yeah.
Okay, this time I rolled a I rolled a dice that explodes.
Yeah, you're good. You don't need to re-roll it. You didn't
Okay.
you didn't have to beat a very high number, but yeah, you're so you feel the like fire from like radiating from the bite point. And then you kind of close your eyes and you feel your body fighting off that venom. And you know for a single moment, if fate hadn't intervened in a day or so, you might be one of the creatures. Have been, but you will not be now. Something in your body fought off the sickness. But however,
pickle brine.
You are the pickle brine. Yeah, the pickle brine. You, however, are very hurt, and your shoulder is very sore, and you are bleeding very heavily.
Cool.
All right. I get him over one shoulder, pick up whatever guns I can, and start helping Chester out.
Okay.
We got to get you back to the church. We got to take a look at this.
Okay.
And
it was just a nail.
Some more of that pickle brine, pour it in the wound.
Yeah, get some more pickle brine. That'll be what cures it.
Let the garlic do its work.
Yeah. So taking, I'm already old man trying to walk down the stairs. Now I'm even worse, apparently.
Stairs are easy. You could just let you fall.
Sure. Yeah, so we make it back to the church and try to bandage up the shoulder a little bit.
Okay. So there is somebody there that will be able to make a medical roll for you. I will make that for you next time. I believe we will say that Hurtin Chester and badass Jubal having just ignited one of the creatures in the home, victorious, sort of. You guys, I think that's a good place to stop for this time.
Okay.
Gotta go lick my wounds for a second.
We will finish up next week, probably, depending on what you guys do.
Well, we've already got the town on fire. I don't know how much more we can do.
Sorry, Mike. Go ahead.
I was just saying, we've already got the town on fire. I don't know how much more damage we can do.
There's more houses still. There's still more houses. You could probably do more damage.
I feel like burning them all is going to be really good. But yeah, go ahead, Jeff. Sorry about that.
That was a lot, and I mean,
low toughness is a rough go.
Like you had a bad roll, but then I kind of had a great roll, and still half of us were almost taken out. So, and that was against one creature. Like I can't imagine trying to room the hotel.
One thing I will say is, you do know from last time, I'll remind you guys, is it was the dad talking to the son.
Was.
So this one may be different than the other one.
He may be stronger.
Well, I mean, nothing a bit of fire can't cure, I guess.
Fire seems to work. Fire and sunlight seem to work so far.
See, you know what? Why? If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
If only the sheriff would have had a Gatling gun and we could have just shot it in the sides of the buildings and made our own windows.
The funny part about this is, as Jeff's carrying me down the stairs, I'm complaining about boats. Just like, oh god, to be on the open ocean. Oh.
I'm just assuming he's delirious, even though I've been his companion for a while and heard incessant talk about boats. Even sounds delusional.
West towards the sea.
Wound. Yes.
Ever west towards the sea, like the old man told me once.
Don't worry, Chester. We'll get you on that boat, even if it's just for me to launch it and
even if
torch to it.
Even if it's what we call a Viking funeral.
Gotta go
Chester's
west.
like, what's a Viking?
What's a Viking? What are you talking about? Which one of us is heard here? Talking nonsense. So yeah, you guys, it is later in the day anyways. So you guys take up residence in the church. They do their best to bind your wounds, and we will stop there for the day.
All right.
And it should be one more session, I think, depending on what decisions you guys make. But yeah.
But we still got long, lanky person to deal with, and I don't even know what that's all about.
Well, possibly Billy.
Question, comments, concerns, and yes, you do have Billy and his friend to deal with.
Yeah.
Wait, no, not Billy's friend.
Billy's handcuffed and locked in the jail cell.
Billy doesn't even know what you guys are talking about. He's just a victim of circumstance.
Sure he is.
It happens to have a false bottom on his carriage. But it was just,
and you guys blew up all of his products, his unguents and oils and sweet smelling things.
And we blew up his bed. Yep.
And you burned down his saloon that he may have had ownership if you guys had left town.
That's true. So,
all right.
Okay, everybody.
Thank you, everybody, for watching. We will have, hopefully, the wrap-up episode of our Deadlands one-shot 3-session, apparently, game next week. Thank you, everybody.
Thanks,
Have a good night.
Thanks. Have a good night.